Hello, greater YouTube area and the surrounding internet regions. This is Killer Cardinal DA7. So with the intros out of the way, let's do this shit for real. It took me a while to decide what my first topic would be, and I landed on this because it's going to be a recurring theme in a lot of videos that I do. So I thought I'd clarify it as much as possible so that people could truly understand where I'm coming from. And that topic is compromise. I understand that compromise, when people hear the word, they interpret it very negatively. They hear loss, they hear giving in, they hear submission. The expression compromise one's ideals comes up a lot. And I understand that. I want to take a moment right away to address the fact that while I'm encouraging compromise, I understand that a lot of people are not in favor of it. And there's a good reason for that. You know, a lot of people fight for a lot of social issues and against a lot of social issues. And there's enough people fighting back against them that you're not even making any kind of ground. The idea of compromising with anybody can be just abhorrent to a lot of people. In terms of compromising one's ideals, though, ideals tend to be a big part of what makes people's identities. And when it comes to social issues and the arguments that people have in society, I feel like a lot of the time they end up spending more time identifying with the fight than they do with the solution. And they'll put all of their focus on the words that are being spoken, the things that are being said on social media, the tweets, the posts. This person said this person said that. You know, this person wants to come up with the next tweet that's going to eviscerate this particular side of whatever. People get up in the morning, they log into their social media platforms, and they just go and they just bash away. And they lose sight of the solutions to their problems and the social problems, which are even more important. And ends up becoming this very personal war on millions of different fronts. The other disastrous thing that occurs, while all these arguments are occurring, all these arguments are taking place, they're battling back and forth, is the extreme deterioration of compassion, sympathy, empathy, understanding, listening, seeing eye to eye with your fellow human beings. The fact that that's so hard for people is really the terrifying part, and where I want compromise to come into play. There needs to be some sort of a change in how people interact, and I'm well aware that my humble videos are not going to end in people insulting each other. They're not going to end many arguments. In fact, the amount of people who are against compromise in general are probably strong enough that this idea is pretty fruitless. But I want to at least try. If I accomplish nothing else with my channel and the videos that I put out, I want to at least hear people out and give people some degree of platform. I want to learn from other people. I want my ideas to expand and evolve and hopefully find what real truth there is. A lot of people seem to think that the middle ground is this small sliver of nothingness, of limbo that doesn't really exist in between these two massive sides. My perception of it is very different. My perception shows a spectrum where the middle ground is very large, and the extreme members of those groups are the fringe areas on each end of that spectrum. How true that is, I don't know. I want to learn, though. If I get into a conversation with somebody and they end up being right, I want to tell them that they're right. I want all of us to be able to accept certain truths in our lives, because even if you don't get every single thing you want out of a compromise, the more you join together with other people, you can at least salvage some of the things that you want. As powerful as corporations and government and law enforcement are, they can be leaned on enough by some sectors of society to move in particular directions. But if two sides of an argument, both sides of many arguments, manage to come together and work together, there's no stopping the citizens. There's no stopping the people. The people are the ones with the power, and it's easy to see that a lot of people already know that. I feel like it's a matter of guiding them towards a more common truth. I feel like at the end of the day, sometimes when you talk to enough people and you ask them the right questions about why they feel a certain way about a particular social issue, then their fears, their feelings of inadequacy, their insecurities, anything they may have that they may feel bad about that might be driving them to fight for a particular, one way or the other, they're probably very the same as someone else on the other side who they couldn't stand, wouldn't give the time of day to, that they probably hate. And if they're that similar, then there's no reason on this earth that they shouldn't be communicating and cooperating for common goals. This is Killer Cardinal DA7. Talk to you soon.